Hello, I'm Alana Love, and this video is a short yoga flow for a hurt or injured foot, or maybe even your whole lower leg region. Over the past year, for some reason, I've known so many people who have injured or hurt their feet or just had foot pain and issues with their feet. So I wanted to create a little yoga routine that something that you could still do and a way that you could still move your body even if something happens to your little beloved feetsies. So for this practice, you might find beneficial to have a blanket to pad your knees because we will be on the knees a lot more for it. And I think that's really it. Yeah. So we're going to start by just coming right on down to your back into a little Shavasana position. And from here, you can even just bring the soles of your feet together and knees out wide if that's accessible for you. And throughout this practice, anything that is not accessible, that's fine. You can just take a different version of it, and I will try to give you modifications as much as possible, but every foot injury is going to be different. So you make sure to honor your body and do what's best for you and don't injure yourself anymore. But just to start off, we're just start to move from a place of thinking to feeling and just noticing the sensations in your body as you begin to settle in here on the earth. And some people might find it more comfortable to put some blocks or padding under your knees as well, a pillow or a blanket. You can have your right hand on your belly, your left hand on your heart. Allow your body to just soften and relax, taking a few deep breaths in and out. Allowing any sounds to flow through you, maybe a horsey breath if that feels nice. Just releasing any tension through the face and the neck. Just noticing how your body feels in this moment. Try not to judge or anything like that. Just observing and taking a little physical weather check today. Just scanning the body. If you have a foot injury or pain in your feet, it's a really good practice to practice sort of meditation and a sense of kind of being aware of the pain, but in some way being detached from it, or being able to sort of zoom out and just witness that pain from an objective place and just to be with the experience that's happening. So through this yoga practice, we create a little bit more capacity for ourselves to be able to be with things that might be uncomfortable, right? That might be challenging. Even just we build our capacity to be with suffering. And so, that can zoom out beyond any issues with your foot or leg. It can zoom out to life in general. So this practice is really something that you can take off of the mat with you. So just one more deep breath here. And then on your exhale, you can just release your legs and your arms out to the side. Just create a little bit more space here. And we'll just take the hands up to the sky, actually reaching them out in front of you, taking a couple wrist rolls, just waking up the joints one way and then the other. And stay with your breath throughout this practice. The breath is super important for healing the body and for dealing with any discomfort and pain. Oftentimes in these moments of discomfort is when we forget to breathe and we hold our breath. And this is the moment when we actually need to remember to breathe. So hug your right knee into your chest now and just start to kind of pull that down toward your outer rib cage. And from here, you can even have your left hand on your left hip bone, just sort of helping to press that leg down into the earth. And then you can start to take a couple circles with your right hip, with your right knee. Again, one way and then the other. Breathing with every movement. Good, and then coming back to center, start to extend your right leg up toward the sky, and you can just hold on to the back of your thigh, and you can always use a strap here to help you, or a scarf, or just something to help you pull your leg closer. But as you do this, just try to sort of flatten your low back on the floor a little bit. Find a little bit of engagement through your low belly and your core. And just use this, these hands around your leg to start to pull your leg towards your face a little bit to create a nice stretch through the hamstrings. And if it's accessible to you, you can sort of press your heel up to the sky and flex the foot. And if that's not accessible, then that's okay too. Relaxing through the shoulders. And you can stay right here, or if you want to add a little bit of core strength, you can reach your hands up to the sky and start to pretend like you're climbing a rope. So keeping that low back, pressing down toward the earth, starting to reach up with your upper body, lifting the shoulder blades off the earth, drawing the navel back toward the spine. Keep breathing. Good, release it down, and then just switch your legs. So now extending the right leg out and hugging the left knee in toward your chest. Starting there with just a deep breath, squeezing it toward your outer left ribs. And then moving into a couple of circles here, maybe about 3 times one way and 3 times the other way. You can use your right hand to press your right leg down. And you can even really press your leg into the earth, your right leg into the earth here for a little bit more engagement. And then hold on to the back of your thigh and press your foot up to the sky. And either flexing your foot, pressing your heel up to the sky, or just letting it stay relaxed there, straightening out through the leg as much as possible, relaxing through the upper back and the neck and the head as much as possible as you pull that knee toward your face, toward your chest. Couple breaths here, feeling that nice stretch through the whole hamstring. And then you can stay right here, or you can take your little mountain climbers here, making sure to engage your core, Uddiyana Bandha, drawing the navel toward the spine, hugging the low belly in and pressing that lower back toward the earth as you climb this rope up toward the sky, lifting your upper body off the earth. Keep breathing. One more. Good, relax it down, release it down. Take your hands up and back behind you and just start to walk them over toward the right side of your mat, keeping your upper body mostly where it is. You can grab hold of your left wrist with your right hand and then start to walk your feet off toward the right edge of the mat or off the mat, keeping your pelvis in place where it is. And if it's possible for you to cross your left foot over your right, that might feel nice too. So taking this nice little crescent moon side stretch, I call it banana pose, and breathing deeply into that left side body, feeling the expansiveness there. And then moving back through center and taking it to the other side. So bringing your feet off the left side of the mat now, maybe crossing your right foot on top of your left, and then grabbing hold of your right wrist with your left hand. And breathing into that right side body. Creating a little extra space in the body here. And walking your feet and hands back toward center. And then we'll slowly start to rise up. Well, maybe not so slow. Maybe you got to use a little bit of your momentum here. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Using your momentum and slowly coming up. And just for a little extra challenge here, maybe slowly rolling yourself back down as you engage your core and these low belly muscles. And you can do this as many times as you want. Exhaling as you come up, maybe touching your toes, And then once again, slowly rolling as slowly as possible, using that whole core engagement to slowly lower yourself back down. Stretch the arms overhead. And then one more time, exhale to come all the way up. And when you come all the way up, just repositioning so that your sits bones are really rooted down into the ground. Extend your arms forward and lifting one leg at a time. Knees can remain bent. Try to keep your shins parallel to the earth and your heart, your sternum reaching forward to stay long through the spine as much as possible. So lengthening the crown of your head up and away from your tailbone. One more deep breath here for Navasana, boat pose. Good, and then place your hands on the right side of you and try to spin all the way around onto your knees without using your feet, if you can. And this is where you might like to bring the padding of the extra blanket underneath your knees. That might feel nice for you. Depending on your injury, you can keep the legs bent up like this with the feet up, or you can just rest them gently onto the earth. So starting here with just a few cat-cows, dropping the belly down as you lift the chin and the tailbone up toward the sky. Deep breath in, and then exhale as you round the spine, chin comes toward the chest, gazing through your legs. Pressing the floor away from you here, especially through the hands. You might not be able to press through the tops of the feet, but through the hands you can still press. And inhale for cow, dropping the belly, looking up. And exhale for cat pose. And moving through this a couple times with your own breath. Letting your breath guide you through it, keeping the fingers spread wide, pressing through knuckles and the finger pads. Feet about under the shoulders, maybe slightly forward if that feels better on your wrists, that's good too. And knees under the hips. And you can take just a few more breaths here for just some organic movement. I always like to just allow some time in my classes to tune into your own body and find what feels good. And that could look like something different every single day. So maybe it's stillness for you, or maybe it's taking some barrel rolls around the spine, wiggling your hips side to side, maybe taking some big circles around the heels. So just moving in a way that feels good and just taking this moment to reconnect to yourself, to your body. If you are experiencing any pain, oftentimes it's really easy to dissociate from your body, and rather than learning to be present with that discomfort, right? And also, if you're healing from something, you might have experienced this sort of disconnection from your body, and it's time to reconnect with your body, and it's time to find that love and care for your body once again. All right, pausing back here in neutral, just start to sort of hug the low belly in again. Navel comes back toward the spine, drawing the low ribs in a little bit here to engage the core. So engage this whole center line of your body along the spine. We'll start off by just lifting the right leg up and back behind you. Try to keep the hips square toward the mat, or the pelvis squaring toward the mat. And you can start off right here in this balance. And if it's accessible to you, and if it's not putting too much weight on your left foot, you can also reach the left arm out in front of you. And take a deep breath in, keep engaging that core as you reach the leg and foot up, or the leg and arm up a little bit higher. Deep breath in, and then exhale to crunch it in, rounding elbow toward the knee. And then inhale as you reach it out. Exhale to crunch it in. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, in. Inhale, expand. Exhale, crunch. Good, and then place it back down on the floor beside you, wiggling the hips side to side, and we'll take it to the other side. So lifting the left foot up and back behind you, and pausing there, just checking in with yourself, not pushing yourself if it's too much, just noticing where your desires to do things are coming from. Is it coming from wanting to just push harder and harder and challenge yourself, or to do what everyone else is doing? Or is it coming from really tuning into your own body and knowing what you need? So starting off here and checking in with yourself again, finding your balance, finding your center, and then if it's accessible to you, reaching your right arm forward. Engaging that core, drawing the low ribs in as you extend your arm and leg. Looking up, deep breath in, expanding, and then exhale, crunch it in. And with your own breath and your own time, inhaling, expand, exhale, crunch. Inhale, expand, exhale, crunch. And it might be more challenging and more strengthening here to slow down as you move through these crunches as well. And then place your hands and your foot back on the floor, wiggling the hips side to side a couple times. Inhale, reach your left arm up to the sky, a little twist, and then exhale to just thread this left arm underneath the right and just hover there for a moment. Inhale, reaching it up toward the sky, twist. Exhale, weaving it under, hover. Inhale, reaching it up, and exhale to hover. And then placing the back of that right hand or the left hand on the earth and your shoulder on the earth, your ear on the earth, coming all the way down, walking the right fingertips now up and toward the back of your head for a nice little upper spine or thoracic spinal twist. You can gaze up past your armpit, smell the nice freshness, hopefully, of your armpit today. And just settle in here, breathing into your upper back body, just feeling that spaciousness behind the shoulder blades. We'll thread the needle for you. Start to walk the right hand back toward the head and use that to push your body up and out. One more little counter twist up to the sky, and then exhale, release it back down. Other side, inhale, reaching the right arm up to the sky. Exhale to weave it under, threading the needle, hovering there. And then inhale back up. Little vinyasa flows for you. Exhale, weave it under. Moving with the breath like a moving meditation. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, weave it under, threading the needle, and then begin to just place the back of that hand on the earth, shoulder on the earth, ear on the earth, walking the left fingertips up and toward the back of your head. You can spin your gaze up past your armpit toward the sky. Feel that stretch through the upper back. Couple deep breaths here. Noticing if you lose your breath when you're twisted. Noticing if you lose your breath during these more challenging postures, during the moments of twists and turns and bindings. Come back to your breath. And then bringing the left hand back toward your face, using that to press yourself up and out, and then reaching back up toward the sky one more time and placing the hand back down on the earth. And we'll take a little modified side plank if it's accessible to you. You can stay on both hands and just come onto your right fingertips if that is better for you. But so you can stay right there on your hands, or you can take that hand all the way off the ground. But what we'll do is start by extending your right foot back behind you. You can spin your left foot off the mat and then reach the right fingertips up to the sky for a little side plank with our knee down. And so I like to keep both feet on the floor because I find that most of my weight here is on my knee, and I'm able to, it's not too much of a weight bearing pose for my feet. But some of you might find this difficult, and so that's okay too. You don't need to do it, and you can just keep both hands on the ground here. So the more points you have on the ground, a bit more accessible it is, right? From here, you can even try to take a couple leg lifts, maybe about 3, lifting your hips up if that's not too weight bearing, and really sort of strengthening those outer hip flexors. Place your hand back down to the ground, knee comes back to the ground, and taking it to the other side, start by spinning your right foot off the mat and shifting your weight onto your right hand, and then extend that left leg out long behind you. Reach the left fingertips up toward the sky, a little side plank. Now sitting a little bit more into your back body here. Breathing into that back body as well. Maybe your gaze is up toward the sky, maybe it's down at the ground for a little more grounding. And keeping your gaze on the ground can also help with balance because it acts as almost like another point of contact with the earth. And if you took it on the other side, you can take a couple leg lifts with the left leg, just strengthening that outer left hip. And bringing your hand back to center, maybe switching sides into a little vinyasa flow. If you like, with your breath, couple times side to side, breathing as you expand and exhaling as you come through center. Good. Finding your center once again, coming back to neutral. And we'll start to shift forward here. So luckily I don't have a foot injury, so I can go onto my feet, but just imagining that you do. So I'm just shifting myself back so you can see here. Start to shift forward so that your shoulders come over your wrists and maybe even a little more forward than that to come into a modified plank. So we're in this modified plank position, right? Use this to start to engage your core. Shifting your shoulders more forward from your wrists will also help you there. So find a straight line through from your sacrum all the way through the crown of your head. And you'll slowly begin to lower down here, hugging your elbows in toward your rib cage, in toward your chest, and wrapping your upper outer arms in. So with a slight micro bend, we begin to lower. Exhale all the way to the earth. Good, and then hands can come out underneath the elbows here for a moment. You can keep the feet lifted or on the earth, whatever works best for you. And maybe just taking a couple little wiggles side to side with your upper body. And then lowering back down and exhaling to come all the way back into child's pose, sitting your hips back onto your heels. And then coming right back through on your inhale, shifting forward into modified plank position. And then from here, again, finding that wrapping in of the upper outer arms, slight micro bend in the elbows. Engage those arm muscles, deep breath in, and then exhale as you begin to lower, hugging the elbows in toward your chest, all the way to prone position. And keeping your hands right where they are, you can use this to start to press your body up, peel your upper chest off the earth. Low Cobra Bhujangasana. And then exhale back down and sending your hips all the way back into child's pose. So it's like a little chaturanga vinyasa flow that you would have in a normal yoga class, right? In a normal vinyasa class. So inhaling to come forward one more time through this flow. So coming all the way forward into plank, and you can move through this a couple times if you want now as I continue to explain, if you want to build up a little more heat in the body. So deep breath in here in plank position, staying long through the spine, the crown of the head, and then begin to lower as you exhale. Inhale for Cobra Bhujangasana. And then exhale, press back, child's pose. Maybe taking a couple rolls of the head side to side here in child's pose, just massaging that forehead, the third eye, wisdom center. And then lifting the bum up to come above the knees again, and start to walk your hands forward and just melt your heart down into the earth for puppy pose or Anahata Asana. And once again, you can find that forehead roll here, or some of you might be able to place your chin on the mat and gaze forward. But just sticking your bum up in the air, just finding a little wiggle there. No, it's all good. But just pressing your forearms into the earth, or maybe you're just softening your forearms, but just with every exhale, letting your heart just melt toward the earth. Finding a nice back bend. And then your next breath, you're going to shift your body all the way forward so that your hips come down onto the mat, down onto the earth. Extend your feet and your toes back behind you. And just bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. We're coming into Sphinx pose here. So hands are coming right out straight from the elbows. Pressing down through your forearms. Start to find a lifting up and out of your shoulder socket. So notice here if you're sagging down here or if you can find a little bit more of a lift, pressing through your forearms, spreading the fingers wide, and pressing through your pelvis. And so press through your pelvis and feel that you're lengthening your tailbone away from you, like toward the back of your room, back of the room, in order to kind of help protect your low back here. And once you find all of that, start to drop your chin down toward your chest. And then over toward the right side, bringing your right ear to your right shoulder. And then up and back behind you, lifting the chin. And then dropping your left ear to your left shoulder. And then coming all the way back to your chin, to your chest. Taking a couple slow and sweet shoulder neck rolls here. One direction and then the other, about 3 on each side. Moving just as slowly as you need. I think the slower the better because our neck is a very gentle, fragile place, and it's this way you don't harm it in any way, and you can even take some extra time to stay in any areas that feel sticky or juicy and really, really good, yeah? Coming back to neutral. And then lowering the chest all the way to the earth. And for this one, you can either keep the feet laying on the earth depending on your injury, or you can lift them up and you can lift your knees and your feet off the ground. So whatever works for you here, we're going to start to strengthen the back body. So reaching your arms out in front of you, and your head can just rest on the earth for now. And take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, lift the head and the upper chest off the earth, maybe the legs, draw the shoulder blades onto your back body, the elbows back behind you to cactus the arms. Keep your gaze right on the floor underneath your nose. Pause here, lifting every limb of your body, maybe not your feet, but lifting your whole upper body, tucking the chin down toward your chest to keep a long back of the neck. And then exhale to release it down. So we'll take a few of those a little bit faster this time. So deep breath in. And then exhale as you come up, cactusing the arms, squeezing the elbows and the shoulders together. Exhale to come down. Good deep breath in. Exhale to come up. Salambhasana. Deep breath in and then exhale to come down. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, come up. Little Superman swimmers here. And then your next exhale brings you back down. And this time you can keep your forehead on the mat and just bring your hands to interlace behind you. And we'll take another little back bend here. So keeping your chin tucked toward your chest. And just, you're going to start, so once again, keeping that long back of the neck area, cervical spine will start to lift up on the inhale or on the exhale. Either way, whatever works for you. Lifting up, squeezing your shoulders together and drawing your fist toward the back of the room to find a more deeper back bend, pressing your pelvis into the earth. Exhale, release. Maybe relaxing your head and toward the other side of the room, finding the opposite cheek on the earth. And then switching the cross of your hands, interlacing the opposite way. It might feel a little funky to to switch whichever thumb was on top this time. I feel like the funky one, yeah? And then deep breath in. And I like to exhale when I come up. So deep breath in and then exhale to come up. One more breath in here just to hold, hold, hold. And then exhale, release. So the reason why I like to exhale to come up is because it's when I'm exerting energy. So it's a nice place for a release, for an exhale. Good. From here, just come onto your hands and slowly begin to, actually don't come all the way up yet. Reach the right hand out to the side, palm of the hand onto the earth, and left hand in next to the chest. And you'll just start to spin open toward the left side of the room, bringing your left sole of your foot just back behind your right leg, just finding a nice little shoulder roll there, opening the collarbone and the shoulders. Nice little thoracic spinal twist. And then coming back through center, bringing that right hand into the chest, the left hand comes out to the side, palm of the hand on the earth, and start to spin yourself open toward the right side of the room, bringing the sole of the right foot back behind your left leg. Notice any cracks or pops in your back. Enjoy this nice little spinal twist, this opening of the left shoulder. And then slowly roll back through center. And you can roll just right all the way back onto your back. From there. Beautiful. Hopefully that's not too hard on your feet. All right. And once you get there, just begin to wrap your right leg right up and over the left leg. Finding eagle legs, Garudasana legs. So you can wrap them around once or twice, or you can just wrap them around once. And then you're going to wrap the right arm underneath the left arm. Again, once or twice. Palms can come together or backs of the hands. So we're in this little like eagle Garudasana pose, but on the floor. And we're going to take one more core strengthener, because when other parts of our body are not working properly, it's important to try to strengthen other parts, right? And especially our core, which is so much of the rest of our body, stems from this place and is connected to this place. So if you're having pain or issues in other parts of the body, it can be oftentimes due to core issues. So from here, we'll start to extend the legs and the arms out long. Keep them hovering off the earth. Deep breath in. And then exhale to crunch the knees and the elbows up toward each other, rounding up into a ball. Again, inhaling to expand it out. 8 of these on your own. Exhale to crunch it in. Hugging up into a ball. Inhale, expand, extend. Exhale, crunch. Good. Moving as fast or slow as you need. Using your breath as a tool to help you along the way. 3 more. Good. Release your hands down and just hug these knees into your chest now, keeping the cross here, just hugging them into the chest. You can hold on to your shins or your outer feet if that's accessible. This might not be accessible to you depending on your foot injury. So you can just hold on to your knees, squeezing them into the chest, feeling a nice stretch through your outer hips. And then either staying right here, or maybe this might be better for you, bringing the right ankle to just cross on top of the left knee now. So just sliding it over a tiny bit and then weaving your hand through that hole and just holding on to the back of your thigh here. Squeezing that thigh into your chest and staying relaxed through the shoulders here, but squeezing this into your chest just enough so that you start to feel this stretch through the outer right hip and the right glute. And if it's possible, flexing your right foot. Couple deep breaths. Little figure 4 or pigeon pose on your back. And then release it out. Good. Bringing your hands out to the side, maybe dropping the knees side to side a couple times. Windshield wiper. Neutralize the low spine, the low back. Then coming back to center, and this time we'll cross the left leg over the right and find a wrap once or twice. And then crossing the left arm underneath the right arm, wrapping around once or twice for eagle pose. And finding again that core engagement here. So you want to press the low back into the mat as much as possible here to find like an engagement of the low belly area, drawing the navel toward the spine. One deep breath in to extend your legs and arms out, and then exhale to crunch it in, knees to elbows. Inhale out, 8 of these with your own breath. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Letting your breath be heard. It is your best friend. The only thing you know that will always be with you in this lifetime, right? 1 or 2 more. Good. I'm not the best with counting, but it's all good. Hugging these knees into your chest, grabbing hold of the shins or maybe the feet, drawing these knees, these shins in toward your chest to find a deep stretch through the outer hips. Relaxing the belly now, letting the belly fully relax and just be. Just letting it be its natural, little, soft, beautiful self. And then you can stay right here. You can just slide the left ankle on top of the right knee. Just slide your knee a little more away from you. Maybe press your left knee a little bit more away from you. Flex the left foot if you're able to, and wrap your arms through that little hole you made, wrapping around your thigh bone, and then thugging the thigh in toward your chest to find a nice stretch through the outer left glute. Figure 4 or thread the needle or pigeon on your back. And take a couple deep breaths here, softening through your collarbones, your upper back, your shoulders. And maybe beginning to soften and close your eyes, taking this time to go back inward. And then releasing the crossing of your legs, just hugging your knees in toward your chest. For one little final spinal twist here, we will drop the knees just down over toward the left side of your body. Nice and easy. You can bring a blanket or a block in between your knees if that feels good for support. And just extend your arms out to a T. Spin your gaze over toward the right side. Maybe even bring your left hand to your knees to help bring a little more weight on there. And take a nice little easy spinal twist. Just beginning to imagine these 2 anchor points from your right shoulder all the way to your knees. Just these 2 anchor points anchoring you into the earth at these 2 spots. And drawing a line all the way from one to the other, just pulling on that line, sort of lengthening, expanding that line, extending that line as the anchors settle in a little bit more into the mat. With every exhale, just letting it go, creating space. Detoxing the body, massaging the inner organs by finding this twist, allowing the insides to wring out. We wring ourselves out to create more space for what we want to invite in. And then bringing your knees back towards center and just shifting right on to the other side. Just dropping your knees right down over to the right side now. Maybe even might need to adjust your lower body to come back to the center of the mat. Maybe bringing your right hand on your knees or out to a T, shifting your gaze over toward the left. Finding again those anchor points into the earth and allowing that to help you soften and melt and surrender just a little bit more to the forces of gravity. Just let gravity do a little bit of the work for you here. Let it go, whatever it is. Whatever it is, just let it go. Just for this moment at least. Let it go and be supported by the earth. Let the earth carry a little bit of your burden, a little bit of your pain or suffering, your worry, your concern. Allowing Mother Earth to support you, allowing something bigger than yourself to support you, just allowing yourself to feel supported here in this moment. With every exhale, twisting and softening a little bit deeper. Good. And then keeping the eyes closed if you already have them. If not, then beginning to close the eyes now, drawing the knees back in toward the chest and just extending them out long into your final resting pose. So just noticing how it feels to have them a little wider, a little closer together today. Palms face up toward the sky, ready to receive the healing energy of the universe. Beginning to soften every muscle in your body, every ligament, every tendon, every joint and bone, with every deep breath from head to toe, softening, softening, softening. Closing the eyes, just letting yourself be held, just letting your body fully integrate the practice. Your body needs time to rest and to just be in order to heal. So just coming back to this very important idea. Moving now into a visualization here in your Shavasana, just visualizing your future self, happy, alive in more ways than one, walking around, running, playing, skipping, jumping, dancing, doing a full yoga practice, visualizing your body and your feet and your legs doing everything that you want to do. Whatever it is that you love doing that you currently are not able to do because of your feet and injury or your hurt or pained foot, just visualizing yourself doing it now with a smile on your face. Continuing to breathe in and out in whatever way is natural to you. As you breathe and visualize your future happy, healthy self, just knowing that you are more strong and resilient, you have a greater capacity than you ever did before, this future self of yours. And that this strength, this resilience, this healthy you was all made possible through this body, through this being that works for you day in and day out, even when you disrespect it, even when you don't treat it very well, even when you don't talk nicely to it, even when you abuse your body, even when you don't let yourself rest, even when you're sleeping. Your body is working for you day in and day out. And it has the power to heal yourself. You have the power within you to help yourself heal and to get better. Breathing deeply, knowing that this power, this healing, this healthy, strong, resilient you is still in there, inside yourself, and it is accessible to you. It is within reach. And just bringing your hands over your heart and taking a moment of gratitude for this body, for all that it does for us, for all of the days of our life that it has carried us through. And then taking a moment of gratitude for your breath, for this beautiful breath that continues to work for us as well, even when we don't even have to think about it. This life force that helps us to heal and just allows us to be here in the present moment, enjoying life. Deep breath into that space, exhale, let it out. Honoring your body, honoring yourself for making this time for yourself on the mat, for your self-care and nourishment, mind, body, and soul. Thank you for being here. Namaste.